Every year, thousands of thoroughbreds go into training with high hopes of fame and fortune riding on their backs. But incredibly, 95% of horses bred for racing never make the grade. So what happens to this vast number of not-so-well-bred fillies and geldings, often with racing injuries and a reputation for being hard to handle? Sadly for some, it's still the knacker's yard. But as I found out, for others, the grass is greener on the other side of the racetrack fence. The modern thoroughbred is the result of centuries of selective breeding for performance, grace and beauty. It can cover distance at sustained speed faster than any other breed of horse. They change ownership as frequently as works of art or industrial investments and make fortunes in the process. But what about the also-rans? Unless they're up there on the equine celebrity A-list with the red Roms of this world, many racehorses' careers come to an abrupt end when they leave the track. But here, in a quiet corner of Surrey, are the lucky ones. Come here. Racing's rejects have found refuge with Ian McAlpine, previously a car salesman.
It's very sad. There must be that many that are disposed of through sales. And if they'd had tendon injuries, they're the ones that are really hard to find homes for, because they can't race again. People that want to buy a horse to compete on, they don't think they're going to be suitable. They're not going to be reliable enough for that. The sort of person that just wants to buy a horse to hack out on a Sunday morning, it would probably be the wrong type of horse. It would be too lively. So they're a very hard horse to find a home for, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of them end up being sold as meat.
Ian's sentimental journey began when his daughter was given a Shetland pony. But it was the twitching nose of a car salesman that led him in search of a horse with a guaranteed pedigree.
I didn't want to be cheated, basically. It was purely the fact that, you know, if you buy a racehorse, it should have its passport with it, which would confirm. It's rather like a car with service history. It confirms exactly who it is and how old it is and where it was born.
Like me, Ian was on the rocky road to equine addiction. How, though, do these athletes adapt to the quiet life?
They vary enormously. I mean, they're just like people do, really. You can get some very calm, sensible ones who are comparatively young, and you can get some that are just very high-spirited. They can be reschooled, given patience and time.
But Ian's just a man who can't say no. As the horses multiplied, so did the bills. So Ian started giving lessons to fill the nosebags. Such is the quality of his yard, it houses several winners.
Whiskey Grain, he'd won a 3-mile chase at Cheltenham. He'd won quite a lot of other races and was a very good little horse. He's still a splendid little horse now. I've got another horse called Genitin here. He was in training with Stan Mellor before, and I believe he won 4 or 5 races and is a really nice horse.
Their new home may be more darling buds of May than National Stud, but in a world that only worships winners, Ian has created a sanctuary where racing's failures can excel. Ian McAlpine doing a great service there. And if you fancy a ride on a real class act, go down to Painshill Stables near Guildford